Hi there everybody, it's UK independent demonstrator Halsey here from slimandstylish.com. Thank you for joining me today. Today I have a really girly card for you, and as I always do pastels and florals, you know this is going to be exceptionally girly for me to say that, and it is. I love it. It's got the perfume, the shoes, the lipstick, flowers, a doily, ribbon, it's pink. There is just so much about this card that I love. I think every bit of it is great. It is using the Best Dressed suite. I love this suite. Here it is in the catalogue, and I'm showing it you here because I think you've got to see some of the pictures that go with it. These are all the papers, which are gorgeous. You've got the stamp set and the dies that go with it, and the dies don't just cut out what's on the stamp set. So yes, you've got a lipstick on the stamp set and you've got a lipstick die, a perfume die, the flowers, the shoes, but you also have this bag. I don't know if you can see the framelit for the bag, and it creates this, which is just awesome. It is just such a cool suite. You've got the tassels, the ribbon, the papers. I love this suite. So that's what I'm going to be using for this card. And if you wanted to have a look at that, sorry, it's on page 55 of the catalogue, or you can just go over to slimandstylish.com, go up to the top and click buy, and it takes you to my store, and just type in Dress to Impress or Best Dress Suite and you will get there. So this is the card. Let's get started. First of all, I'm just going to grab some scrap whisper white, which I have, but I've just popped everything on top of it because I'm so organised like that. And the memento, because I'm going to be using blends. I'm going to stamp up the lipstick, ink up the lipstick, that's the thing to stamp it. There we go. The shoe. The one flower. There's the two flowers in the set. There's this one that's got like the flower and the bud, and then there's a full open flower as well. So there's the second flower there. And last but not least, I have the perfume bottle. Love this set. I mean, you don't even have to use all of these on a card. You can just use individual bits. It is such a versatile set. And there is the perfume bottle. While I've got my ink out, I'm going to do my sentiment. Kindness is always in style. Okay. And with that one, I'm just going to punch it out. I'm using the tag punch. Make sure it's in the middle. Now all of these are to be die cut. I've got my die cut machine on the floor because it doesn't actually fit on the desk. So I'm just going to pop you on pause and I'm going to come back with all of these cut. Okay? I'm back with all 5 of them cut. I thought it was better than you sitting there just looking at a blank screen while I was off cutting them. Normally I would blend them before I cut them, but I just wanted to get them cut and out of the way so I could put that away. I always worry when it's by my feet that I'm going to trip over it. So the colours I'm using are the light and dark petal pink. I've got my colour lifter. I've also got the light and dark purple posy, the light and dark so saffron, the light granny apple green, and finally, because it's a colour I've missed, there we are, the light smoky slate. Okay, so let's get blending. Let's get blending. I feel like Dory from Finding Nemo. Let's keep swimming, let's keep swimming. So this is the dark so saffron, and I'm going over with the brush tip because I am not being that neat. I'm just building the colour up. If you've seen me in my blends, you know that I like to really build over the colour quite often. There we go. Nice and messy. I'm going to come in with a light one now. The first thing I'm going to do with the light one is just to make sure that I have that edge covered. Before I start playing in the middle. Now I'm going to go back onto my brush tip and I'm going to colour that along so it meets. And then I'm just going to play from the dark to the light. And instead of doing it in full lines, I'm actually doing it in a lines and circles. So I'm sort of doing that sort of motion back. So I'm dragging the dark over to the light, linking it back. Just gonna okay. And then the colour lifter on this side. Just pull that colour out so it really's got a reflection. It's a glass bottle after all, it's got to be very reflective, right? So there's my perfume. And that's the end of the So Saffron, so I can move that away. Then got my petal pink and I'm using the dark one first. And the dark petal pink is going there like that, like that, all the way around the stitching on the shoe. Just down the heel of the shoe. Okay, light petal pink for the rest of it. Shoe. When you first put the two on next to each other, you notice how different they are. You can really see the shade difference between the light and the dark. So that's why you keep playing over the top, dragging a dark colour into the light and just making sure that it blends quite nicely. Colour lifter on the bits that you want it to be the lightest. And there's the shoe done. And I also forgot the big one, the one on its own. I did that with petal pink as well, so for that I just did every sort of other petal, put a bit of a dark petal pink on it and then just went over the whole lot with the light petal pink. I don't need to play on my colour lifter with that. So then for the bottom of the lipstick, the purples come in, Purple Posy. This is the dark one. And again, really heavy on the left hand side, really light on the right hand side. While I like blending when it is a full sheet of paper, I prefer to blend before I've used the big shot and before I've cut out the pieces. I do actually like it when it's little pieces and you can turn it round to get into the corners. So that's always a bit helpful. Oh, before I put those away, don't forget the flowers. Again, it's just dark Purple Posy, random pieces, and then over the whole thing with the light Purple Posy. No real rhyme or reason to the flowers. There we go. With the light Granny Apple Green, just each leaf. And I'm not playing with the dark, I am just doing the light because I only just want to have a little bit of green colour. I don't want to have loads of intricate greens going through those little leaves. And those are those two done. So then it's just to add a bit of shading on here. So I'm using the light smoky slate. I'm just coming down the side of the lipstick there. Okay. And then I'm just going to grab the colour lifter, and once you go over it loads and loads, it should just give you a shade like that, and it is over and over and over it. So I want to keep dragging the smoky slate out over the top, keep lifting the colour. There we go. So those are all my pieces. Yay. Cardstock. I have got a piece of the Petal Pink. This is, I remember this. I've been talking a lot, everything's gone. It's 10 centimetres by 14.3 centimetres, 9.5 centimetres by 13.8 centimetres. So that will just sit on the inside of that like that. I also have my DSP. So I've actually already cut this lengthways. So this is 40, that's 14.2, 13.8, 13.2. Okay, lengthwise. And I'm going to cut this one at 4 centimetres and this one at 4.5 centimetres, which will make them 8.5 centimetres. I've got this. So that's 4 centimetres. And 4.5 centimetres. So let me just go over those sizes with you one more time because I've confused myself with them now. That's 10 centimetres by 14.3. 13.8 by 9.5. This is 13.3 by 4.5. 13.3 by 4. Okay, so just like that. Okay. So when you come to sticking this on with your snail, you're going to have a slight gap in the middle. That's normal. Just so long as you're straight at the top and straight at the sides. Don't worry about the gap in the middle. Okay, so it is only a very slight gap. Because that's where you've got your ribbon. Got some snips somewhere. There we go. Dark purple posy. Oh, you've all seen me do this. With your brush tip. I'm going over this one more than once because I just really want to build the colour up. I quite like the ribbon being a focal piece in the background, even though you don't see that much of it. I don't want it hidden, so I am really building the colour up on it. Okay. That's my snail. I'm just going to pop the snail straight down the middle of the card, because that's where I'm going to put my ribbon. And be aware, when you colour the ribbon, it does actually dry a different colour to when it's wet. And while I've got it like that, I'm just going to stick it onto the backing sheet. There we go. And now it's just playing, so you can work out exactly how you want your pieces. You don't have to have them like I've got them. You can just fiddle and play with them as much as you like. I'm using one of the pearlised doilies at the back. So because this is going to be hidden by my perfume bottle, I have absolutely no issue in putting some snail on there. Normally if I wasn't, that would be tacky through the doily, so you're better using a glue dot, but I don't mind for this because that is exactly where my perfume bottle is going to sit. If you're doing this the first time, you're best to try and sort out in your head where you want everything stuck, work out the design. I've already done it on my other one, so being lazy, I'm going to follow it. And I'm being very minimalistic with my dimensionals, purely because I want to keep slotting bits underneath, so it's much better to have one dimensional in the middle than have 4 at the sides and then you can't slot anything in. She says as she puts 2 dimensionals on the lipstick, but I know that I'm not going to be putting anything really behind it, so I'm okay with that. I'm popping the flowers completely flat. I'm not sticking them up. I've already got dimensionals under everything else. I don't want to stick everything the same level. I want it all varying levels. Finally, the shoe. The last flower. And my sentiment. See what I mean? This has completely changed colour now, hasn't it? It does change colour when it dries. It changes more to the colour it should be. When it's wet, I always think it's a lot brighter than it is. So bear that in mind. And there you go. Got some rhinestones. One in the middle. And then it's just sticking that onto your cardstock. So for the cardstock, I take a piece of thick Whisper White cardstock. This is A4, so I cut it in half and then I use my trimmer to score it in half again. So I just score it at 14.8 centimetres. Fold it over, burnish it with my bone folder, and there you go. Stick it to your card. Job's done. Dress to impress sweet. I love it. So girly, so cute, so me. What do you think? If you do like this set, don't forget to go over to my website. You can purchase it by going up to buy on the header. You can add anything to your basket, but please use my hostess code and then I send you a little thank you gift for shopping with me. If you've liked the video, do subscribe and come back again soon. Bye.